Yo, what is going on guys, Z-Karma here and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the most powerful weapons in the entire game. This is the Yellowcake. This weapon was introduced with the Revenge of the Cartels mini event and it can drop from Joey Ultraviolet. This is a COV launcher that absolutely decimates everything if used correctly. This weapon is definitely up there with the ion cannon in terms of how powerful it is. I was clearing mobs and killing bosses like they were nothing on Mayhem 4, as you can see by the gameplay. In other words, it makes Mayhem 10 bearable because we know how hard it is. If you want to keep repeating the Revenge of the Cartels event on Mayhem 10, this is the weapon that you need to get your hands on. So anyways, let's take a look at this weapon. And first, I want to talk about the shooting mechanics. So when you shoot this weapon, the initial projectiles will split into two, and then those projectiles will split again. So if you have the ×2 version, they will split once, split again, and you end up with 8 total projectiles, which is absolutely insane. Because every time they split, they keep their damage. And this can be very deadly, especially if you can get the distance in such a way that they deal an insane amount of damage. So basically what you want to work on is getting the initial explosion to happen right before hitting an enemy for that splash damage. Then they split and you want all of those projectiles to hit the target again. This can net you millions of damage, and that's how I was basically one-shotting Trant and Joey Ultraviolet with an Amara build. But I digress. The one I got for myself is actually a ×2 version with over 33,000 damage. It also has plus 330 splash damage radius, but let me tell you, you can actually use this weapon fairly close distance and you won't hurt yourself with it. This is just absolutely disgusting, and on top of that, I got a new anointment that will increase my damage by 300% on enemies above 90% health. So this really came in handy with most enemies, as obviously when you run into enemies, they're all at full health, and this was just decimating any enemy. I also noticed that even though sometimes I hit Trant and only took off about 30% of his health, then I used it again. This anointment shouldn't kick in. I haven't tested it. Like I said, I will test this anointment, but theoretically it shouldn't work after 30%, right? But I was still absolutely destroying him with the second shot. This weapon is just great for mobbing and bossing alike. So now let's take a look at the raw damage on the test dummy. And what I mean by this is that we're not going to have anything that's going to influence our damage at all. We're just going to look at the raw power of this weapon. And then of course you can get that damage a lot higher up with your build and on how you use it. So if we shoot the target from up close, we're dealing about 135k damage. 169 for a critical. So 135k, that is what my initial 2 projectiles are doing. Keep in mind, this target is not considered an enemy, so I'm not getting the anointment increase. So just take that number, multiply it by 4, and that is going to be the 300% increase that you would get on actual enemies. So now let's back up a little bit and try to get that perfect distance. There you go, 609k, absolutely disgusting. About 700k there, I did 677 plus like 67. Let's back up a little bit more. There you go, that was the best so far. So what I'm trying to do here is get the initial explosion and then the child projectiles, as they split, hit the target again. This is how it nets you a ton of damage. You can also argue that getting even farther back to get the full 8 projectiles to hit would be better. The only problem is that they spread too much apart that they'll just go around the enemy. Check this out. So you see how it's only a few hit and we did 406k. That's why I'm saying that for a single target, your best option is to be around this distance to net you the most amount of damage possible. That is, in my opinion, the best way to use this weapon, at least for my testing. I did a bunch of mobbing runs over there at the new seasonal event. Fought him a bunch of times. I'm actually working on a video of farming him 100 times on Mayhem 10 thanks to this weapon alone. So anyways guys, that's gonna do it for today. In the coming days, I will be releasing a bunch of breakdowns of the new anointments. I'm going to break down every single new anointment that I can. So if you're interested in watching that, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful in some way, a like rating is always appreciated. And if you want to subscribe for more Borderlands 3 content, that'll be awesome as well. Hope you all have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.